我们都知道，在现实的生活中，开会的时候常常会是气氛不佳的，双方会卡住，有不同的意见。那虽然有很多的书籍会提供同意跟不同意的片语啊跟字汇，但是用在不对的时间点的时候，会非常危险哦。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管双语沟通力的 podcast。我们希望带给大家最实用的沟通工具，包括了成功人士对全球市场的分享、职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。Hi, I'm Sherry, founder of Executive Plus. As a language trainer and certified coach, I've trained hundreds of managers from Fortune 500 companies such as Dior, Google, Deloitte, and Yahoo.And
I'm Nick, Director of Communication Strategy at Presentality.I've helped startups raise millions of US dollars in funding and train the executives of publicly listed companies to present on the global stage.
Welcome to the Executive Plus podcast,
where you can take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Executive Plus podcast episode.Today, we're going to continue our discussion on what you see in a business English textbook may not reflect how real life works. And we're going to look at something that can cause a lot of problems if you just follow the text without context, which is disagreements in a business meeting.
那我们今天就是要来 focus 在当我们真的要不同意对方的时候，尤其是在会议的时候，我们到底要该用什么样的句子回应？因为我找到这本书之后，我翻一翻，我就发现它这个 section， 那虽然它提供的这些 statement 这些句子都文法没有错，那当然你也可以这么说，但是呢，一个很危险就是当你用这些句子了，你就是等于说邀请大家来一起 fight。Right.
So as Sherry said, when using these phrases, which are grammatically correct, some of the more informal or colloquial phrases are good things to use, but the moment you use them, you need to be ready for the follow-up argument because they're not done very tactfully. They're done as a way to be aggressive.
Exactly. 所以这些句子等于说你没有错，你是 disagree， 但是是非常强烈的做法，而且你并没有给对方任何有台阶下的空间。所以今天我们先来分享一下，就是这本书上面刚刚所 offered 的好了。So here are the sentences that's listed in the book. So we have, I beg to differ. I'm sorry, but I don't agree.
I'm not convinced. I'm afraid that I totally disagree.And are there any objections?
So as you guys can see, 这些句子没有什么错的，但是呢，当你真的用了这些句子的话， Are you actually ready for the fight that's gonna follow?
Right. As we talked about in the last episode, rather than be formal or informal, it's better to be clear and concise. When it comes to disagreement, it's true. You need to be clear, you need to be concise, but you need to add a layer of tactfulness.Which means that if you use certain phrases, it's going to start a fight, as opposed to using better phrases, which will allow for a conversation, a debate, or a discussion, not an argument.
没错，所以我们要用比较圆滑一点的做法，一些说法，来让你的 disagreement， 虽然你 disagree， 但是你们还是可以共同的 collaborate， 共同的去完成这个 project.Even
a phrase simple like, I beg to differ. I actually really like this phrase. But I beg to differ usually only works in a context where there's some kind of friendly back and forth, or you're known for having a debate with this person, but both sides can keep it not emotional.
Right.
One easy way to test out I beg to differ is the next time you see your spouse, significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, and they say something you don't agree with, look at them straight and go, I beg to differ. If it doesn't start a fight, I will be shocked.
Exactly. 所以我们到底要用什么样子的句子会比较委婉一点，会比较 tactful 一点呢？ 那如果比如说你希望你的目标是你希望我们双方都能够继续的合作，你想用比较 collobrative 那种方式去表示你的 disagreement 的时候，我们就可以用以下的一些 sentences. For example, what is the goal of? 那在之前我们的 episode 有讲到说，如果我们用 what is the goal of 这样子的句子，它其实是可以让对方给你多一点点的 information， 所以基本上你几乎是不太需要说 I don't agree or I don't like what you said， 你可以了解更多为什么他要提出这个提案的原本的它的意义在哪里。
Or another similar phrase like what is the importance of?Now, the beauty of what's the goal of and what's the importance of is there are situations where maybe you don't agree with the direction they're going. Their overall goal or the overall thing that they want to achieve, you agree with, but the direction or the way they want to do it, you may disagree. So asking these kind of clarification questions goes from, I don't like your idea to, I like your idea, but I don't agree with the way we're going. Could you clarify a bit more? Could you explain the goal that you're trying to achieve?
没错，所以 getting more information， 那这个时候可以用在我们做 negotiation 的时候会特别的好用。那还有另外一个句子，也就是 While I don't agree with your statement, how do we successfully collaborate on this project? 所以后面那一句，后面那半句就很重要了，就是你的目标还是我们能够共同合作，虽然你是不太同意这一段话，但是我们要怎么样一起共同合作下去。
Let's look at another situation quickly, where you actually just straight up don't agree. But rather than use a phrase that is going to cause some kind of argument like, I'm afraid I totally disagree, you want to be very tactful in your saying no or delaying the decision making. In this case, you can use a phrase like, I have a few concerns with, and then lay out the problems that you see. So I would like to see more about, and then what's the follow-up? I'd like to see more about your plan. I'd like to see more about the finances. Be very specific in this case.
Or similarly, 很相近的我们也可以说 I'm not sure about, would we consider 其他的方案，就是你可以提供其他的方案或另外一个方向。
Let's say that you are not sure about the quality of information or the detail of the information and you want to push back and have them do more homework or more work. You may say something like, I'd really like to see more detail or information on, and then talk about the pieces that are missing before I agree.
I like that one because you kind of set a goal where we will agree on this, but there are just a few that's missing. So another thing that you can also say is, we are not ready to make a decision based on the current information. Would you please... Perhaps, asking for more time or asking for more information, right? 请对方再给你多点时间或多一点的 information 才能够让你做这个决定。
What you'll notice with all of these is there's some kind of action, there's some kind of follow-up. One of the things that most often triggers people in disagreement is when someone will disagree and they don't have a clear reasoning or logic behind the disagreement, or two, there's no follow-up to fix the problem, or there's no follow-up to change the outcome. Rather than doing any of the above phrases, you could just literally say no. And that will have the same effect as someone saying, I completely disagree. Because there's not a follow-up. Anytime you disagree, anytime that you want to change the conversation, offering room to continue is a better way to be tactful about the disagreement.
所以重点就是我们要给对方空间去成长，空间去提供给你更多的information， 或者是改变他的方向。So we need to give them that room. 那最后一个呢，我们之前我们有讲到这个书上建议我们用Are there any objection? 也就是会议结束的之前，他说我们可以问这一句 Are there any objection? 那老实说 again 这一句真的就是也是非常的 negative， 因为 objection 这个意思就是说反对嘛，有没有任何人反对？ It really reminds me of like weddings,
Yeah, it's like, before I married these two, does anyone have any objections? The idea is when you use the phrasing objections, you're looking for a no.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? There's no other answer that's not concerns, follow-ups. Does anyone else want to say no?
当然，我们如果都 meeting 要结束了，我们为什么还要再找寻那个 no 呢？所以一定有其他比较好的句子可以使用。For example, you can say, do you have any other suggestions before we end the meeting? Right? You're using suggestions as opposed to, objection. Yeah.
Right. Or, do you have any questions or concerns?
So very simple, but it's invitation for a collaborative effort.
Well, we hope these phrases help you a lot. Again, 3 simple rules when it comes to disagreement. Clear, concise, tactful. So the next time that you get into this situation, don't start an argument, start a discussion. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
如果你喜欢我们的 podcast， 欢迎来追踪我们的主管英文 Executive Plus 的 Facebook。那也可以写信到我们的信箱 yourcareerplus@gmail.com。